It's time for our deep dive, and we're focusing in on the bond king, Bill Gross, with fresh details out on his final days at Pimco. The legendary bond manager left the empire he built in September. And now, thanks to an exclusive by Bloomberg News' Mary Childs, we have some new juicy behind-the-scene details on just what led to his departure. It's fascinating stuff. Mary joins us now this morning. So I know you worked 2 months here on this piece, where you detailed exactly the final months and weeks before he left Pimco. So what happened actually on the day that he decided to leave and announce to everyone he was joining Janice?
Right, so he actually went into the office as usual. He always gets there before 5 a.m. and he left these little handwritten notes to more than a dozen colleagues, kind of a chosen few among Pimco, saying, you know, you're doing a great job. Keep it up and look after her, because he knew that he was kind of done. So after that, he hopped on a plane to Denver, Colorado.
I love that. So he left, and then when all the X hit the fan, he was on an airplane to
a little bit insulated from it.
It's amazing. Okay, so but in the months leading before, he knew he was about to be fired, right? So tell me a little bit about how he was trying to close ranks at Pimco.
Yeah, so I think over the course of the year, you saw a lot of he was trying to really rein it in and try to close ranks, as you say, after Mohamed El-Erian's departure. That was really devastating to him. I think personally, I think that he took an emotional toll from that, and that what we saw feeding out into the media ended up being kind of a knock-on effect of that. So he gave a speech before a forum saying, like we're still Pimco, we're trying as, I'm back in it, I really want to, lead the firm forward and let's keep doing this, and kind of to raise morale. But his media appearances were more and more disturbing management. And then he started to kind of diverge from their views on what products and asset classes they should focus on. And then
he didn't like going into stocks and real estate, right?
It seems like he felt like it was a bad time, which is certainly an arguable strategic decision. But everyone else kind of took it as, well, Bill, we've been working on this for decades. Why are you changing course now? So that was, I think, a point of friction and confusion there. And then additionally, he really got fixated on this idea of a mole, of a Mr. X and Mr. Y, who he felt they were undermining the firm by talking to the press and leaking.
And who were they?
So his suspects were Andrew Balls and Joshua Timmons. Andrew Balls is a managing director in London, and
he's still at Pimco, right?
They're both still at Pimco. Okay. Yeah, Pimco kept them. They felt that there were no grounds to dismiss them, and they wanted to keep them on. So that dissonance, I think, is really the main breaking point between management and Bill.
Speaking about media appearances, you mentioned, one very bizarre appearance was on Bloomberg Television, actually back in April when Bill Gross came on, and he spoke about how hurt he was that Mohamed left so suddenly, it seemed. And I want to play for everyone what exactly Bill Gross said at that time.
It's a mystery to us. He simply said that he wasn't the man to take the company forward, and he constantly repeated that without explaining it. He didn't really say that he didn't have the qualifications. Obviously he did. He didn't really say that he had lost interest. Obviously he's still interested in the markets. He simply said he wasn't the person, and that's a mystery. And the additional mystery, as I've mentioned, is the fact that he hasn't spoken up. I would simply say, come on, Mohamed, tell us why.
Well, but it wasn't a mystery why he left, right? I mean, you were learning from people that you've interviewed in the last several months why Mohamed left.
Yeah, I think that the deteriorating relationship, you can kind of see in that clip that there's a lot of emotional resonance there. He's really upset. And I think that their relationship, they used to be pretty good pals. One time Mohamed brought in a cake at 5 a.m. for Bill when he won Morningstar Manager of the Decade. Like, they used to be a great, kind of
a good
power
team,
couple in a way. And so when that deteriorated, I think it hit both of them pretty hard. And Bill, trying to reach out and fix what he saw as undermining in the media and otherwise, I think it was just increasingly a story of he was losing control of that narrative, and the more he lost control, the more it freaked him out.
So did you learn anything new about Mohamed's role at Pimco and how much he was sort of a shock absorber, as you described in the piece, for the firm?
Yeah, people cited that to me. Bill's obviously a very challenging manager, as we know. He was not an easygoing guy. He would yell at people and kind of dress them down in public. And to some extent, people told me that Mohamed was able to kind of bring him into a room and somehow something would happen in that room and they'd come back out and Bill would be chill. Mohamed could talk him down for some reason. So that skill, once he left, people maybe got the brunt of Bill's unhappiness more.
And then we saw the loose cannon, it seems, that had been inside Bill for quite some time. All right, Mary, thank you so much. The outflows, by the way, continue at Pimco, as we just saw in the latest numbers yesterday. Mary Childs of Bloomberg News on her piece on Pimco's Bill Gross.